In this video, we're going to take a look at line spacing in Word 2019. So these options are on the Home tab. So let's go to the Home tab, and they're in the Paragraph group, and it's just this button right here. So let's, this is a paragraph formatting command. It's in the Paragraph group. So if I'm in a paragraph, it will apply to that paragraph, but nothing else. If I want to apply it to multiple paragraphs, I have to select all the paragraphs I want to apply it to. So let's try a few paragraphs here. We'll select the first three. And let's take a look at our line spacing here. And you'll see the default, this is actually the default that comes with Microsoft Word, is not single spacing, but it's 1.15. And that's just a little bit more than single spacing. It does do a live preview here, so I'm going to pause the mouse over 1, and you can see what single spacing looks like. And now I'm going to move it to 1.15, and you can see what the difference is. And there's not a lot of difference, but I personally think that the 1.15 is much more readable. Apparently somebody at Microsoft thought the same thing because they made this the default. So your options are single spacing. You can choose 1.15, the default. You can choose 1.5. You can choose double spacing. And you've got some options for 2.5 and triple spacing, which I don't think you're going to need very often. You've got some line spacing options here. If I click on this, this is where the line spacing is, and you can select what you want here, and you can actually get very precise, but I really don't think there's much use for this dialog box because 99.9% of the time I think you're going to be happy with one of these choices up here. So let's go back to 1.15. Okay, the other thing that we want to take a look at is there are some keyboard shortcuts for the line spacing commands. If I want a single space, that's pretty easy to remember. It's Control-1. I'm going to try that right now, and you see it's a little smaller than 1.15. If I want a double space, it's Control-2, so I get double spacing. And then the 1.5 also has a keyboard shortcut, but that's Control-5. And the way I remember that is if it is 1.5 spacing, 1.5 is 1.5, and I assume that's where the 5 came from. Anyway, that's how I remember it. There is not a keyboard shortcut to go back to that default of 1.15. So you have to go back up here and select it and click on it. And those are the options for line spacing in Word 2019.